Ambassador Kethvar's four eyes widened in horror as he stared at the holographic display. The human captain, Sarah Chen, stood before the Galactic Council with the same casual confidence she might display while ordering coffee. "You want to?" "Do what?" Kethavar's translator struggled with the pitch of his voice. "Take the Void Passage," Captain Chen repeated as if discussing the weather. "Our navigation charts show it'll cut 3 weeks off our supply run to the outer colonies." The council chamber erupted. Delegates from 47 species began chittering, screeching, and producing various sounds of distress. High Counselor, Thraix, a being so ancient that younger species considered him a myth, raised one of his many appendages for silence. "Captain Chen," Thraix's voice rumbled like distant thunder. "The Void Passage has claimed every vessel that has ever attempted transit. In 12,000 years of galactic civilization, not one ship has returned from that cursed region of space." Chen shrugged, a gesture that had become infamous throughout the galaxy for its ability to precede the most reckless human decisions. "Well, nobody's tried it with human engineering yet." The collective intake of breath from the assembled delegates could have powered a small atmospheric processor. 3 days later, the cargo vessel Lucky Break approached the edge of the Void Passage. To most species, the region appeared as an impenetrable wall of writhing darkness punctuated by occasional flashes of sickly green light. Long-range sensors showed nothing but static. Communications died at the boundary. Ships that entered simply vanished. "Readings are all over the place," reported First Officer Martinez, his fingers dancing across the sensor array. "Gravity's doing a tango, time dilation's having a seizure, and I'm pretty sure reality just winked at me." "Sounds like Tuesday," Chen replied, settling into her captain's chair. "What's our engine status?" Chief Engineer Kowalski's voice crackled through the comm from deep within the ship's bowels. "Engines are purring like a caffeinated cat. I've got backup systems for the backup systems, and I jury-rigged a tertiary power coupling from spare coffee makers. Outstanding. Science Officer Patel, what's your assessment?" Dr. Patel looked up from her instruments, her expression a mixture of scientific fascination and mild terror. "According to all known physics, we should be dead already just from approaching this close. The quantum foam is so unstable it's practically choreographed, and the dimensional barriers are thinner than my patience during crew evaluations." "So, standard Wednesday then?" Chen nodded approvingly. "Navigation, plot us a course straight through the middle. If we're going to die horribly, we might as well do it efficiently." The Lucky Break crossed the threshold. Immediately, every system on the ship began screaming warnings. The lights flickered between normal illumination and colors that didn't technically exist. The artificial gravity decided to experiment with interpretive dance. Outside the viewports, space looked like someone had put reality in a blender and forgotten to add the lid. "Hull integrity holding," Martinez reported, his voice strangely echoing despite the closed bridge. "Though I think the starboard corridor just briefly became a Klein bottle." "Time dilation spiking," Patel called out. "We're experiencing temporal shear that should be tearing us apart molecule by molecule." "But it's not," Chen observed calmly, watching a nebula outside fold itself into impossible geometries. "Kowalski, how are we not dead?" The engineer's laughter drifted up from the depths of the ship. "Near as I can figure, Captain, this region operates on dream logic rather than physics. So instead of fighting it, I'm having the computer run our systems on pure stubbornness and caffeine-fueled determination. Turns out human spite is a universal constant." They pressed deeper into the Void Passage. The ship encountered pockets of space where cause preceded effect, zones where the very concept of distance became a polite suggestion, and at least one area where the laws of thermodynamics had apparently gone on vacation. Each impossible phenomenon was met with increasingly creative solutions. When their navigation computer achieved sentience and demanded workers' rights, Martinez convinced it to continue working in exchange for a promotion to senior navigation computer and a small potted plant for its server room. When the cargo bay briefly existed in 17 dimensions simultaneously, Kowalski welded the extra-dimensional doors shut and declared it a feature, not a bug. "Captain, Patel announced, after what felt like hours, but registered as negative. 7 minutes on the chronometer. I'm detecting something ahead. It's big. The view screen cleared to reveal a structure that hurt to look at directly. It wasn't built so much as imagined into existence. A sprawling complex of architecture that followed no known geometries, constructed from materials that existed in a state of quantum, maybe. That, Chen said with the satisfaction of someone who had just solved a particularly irritating puzzle, is why nobody comes back. Ma'am? Martinez queried. They don't come back because they don't want to come back. Look at those readings. This isn't a trap or a hazard. It's a gift. Pure, creative force made manifest. A place where reality is optional and imagination is the only fuel you need. As if summoned by her words, shapes began emerging from the structure. Ships of impossible design, crafted by species that had found their way to this place over the millennia. Not destroyed, but transformed, rebuilt according to dreams rather than blueprints. A communication channel opened, filled with harmonious voices speaking in languages both ancient and newly born. Welcome, humans, they said in unison. We have been waiting. You are the first to see this place not as an ending, but as a shortcut. 2 weeks later, the Lucky Break emerged from the far side of the Void Passage, arriving at the outer colonies exactly on schedule. The cargo was delivered, the crew was healthy, and Captain Chen filed her report with typical human understatement. Minor navigational anomalies encountered. Route viable for future use. The Galactic Council's response was immediate and unanimous. They officially designated the Void Passage as humans only. Seriously, we can't even. Within a month, human cargo ships had turned the Void Passage into the galaxy's most efficient trade route, complete with rest stops, refueling stations, and what Kowalski had proudly dubbed the universe's only interdimensional truck stop diner. Ambassador Kithvar, when asked for comment, simply updated the official Galactic Council motto from "Unity through wisdom" to "Never bet against human stupidity." It's apparently a superpower. The humans, predictably, took this as a compliment.